Let's be real, AI is completely rewriting the rulebook for work. The old ways we used to keep score, the old metrics, they just weren't built for this. So today, we're going to break down the new playbook, the one that helps us measure what actually matters now. So here's the question that's probably keeping a lot of leaders up at night. With AI doing so many of the routine tasks, how can you possibly tell the difference between someone just looking busy, what we call productivity theater, and someone doing genuine, high-value work? All the old signals are just disappearing. And this isn't just a gut feeling. A recent Deloitte survey found that a staggering 74% of organizations know their performance metrics are out of date. They can feel the gap. But get this, only 17% think they're any good at actually evaluating the true value their employees create beyond just ticking boxes. And this, right here, this is the heart of the shift. We are moving away from measuring those old, tangible outputs, like hours worked or units produced. The new currency of value, it's all about what makes us human. Our real impact on business outcomes, our creative problem solving, and just how fast we can adapt and learn new things. So here's the game plan we're going to walk through. First, we'll talk about how to measure impact. Second, why we have to reward learning. Third, the massive value of collaboration. And finally, the absolutely crucial need to put people first. All right, let's dive into the first and, honestly, the most fundamental rule of this new playbook. We have to shift our focus from outputs to outcomes. It's no longer about how much you do, but what that work actually achieves. And this brings us to that key idea I mentioned, productivity theater. You know what this is? It's when employees perform for the metrics, sending those late-night emails or jumping into meetings just to be seen, instead of focusing on what really moves the needle for the business. Measuring outcomes is the only antidote to this. Let's make this super concrete. Think about a software developer. They used to be judged on how many lines of code they wrote. But now, with an AI assistant writing a ton of that code for them, that metric is totally meaningless. So what matters now? How about the number of features they successfully ship, or the reduction in software bugs? Now that's real impact. And that leads us right into our second rule. As AI handles all the repetitive stuff, our most valuable contributions become learning, adapting, and innovating. So the new playbook has to reward this, big time. So what does that actually look like? Well, it means we start tracking totally new indicators of value. Are employees mastering new AI tools? Are they actively coming up with and implementing improvements? We need to measure not just their day-to-day output, but their capacity to grow and their real contribution to innovation. Which brings us to rule number 3. See, AI is great at handling individual tasks, but the really complex, important projects, they still require human connection. That means the invisible work of collaborating, mentoring, and sharing knowledge is more valuable than ever before. And you know what? We can actually measure this. There are tools like organizational network analysis, or ONA, that can literally map how information and influence flow through a company. They help you find those hidden high performers, the people who are the glue holding different teams together. Their individual output might not be the highest, but they make everyone around them so much better. Okay, on to our final and, you could argue, most important role. As we gather all this new data, we have to put people first. These new metrics have to support employee well-being and be used ethically. The goal is to build trust, not burn it down. And look, this is not just a nice to have. There is a powerful business case for it. A Hitachi experiment found that taking a human-centric approach boosted what they call psychological capital, things like resilience and optimism, by a whopping 33%. And that wasn't just some feel-good number. That huge boost in well-being was directly linked to a 10% rise in profits. The proof is right there. When you prioritize your people, the business results will follow. But, and this is a huge but, if you get this wrong, the consequences can be severe. This quote comes from the reaction to Microsoft's productivity score, a tool that let managers see incredibly detailed activity for individual employees. They meant for it to be helpful, but it was seen as surveillance, and the backlash was swift and fierce. This is the critical line you have to walk. The wrong way is individual monitoring that just feels like creepy surveillance and completely erodes trust. The right way is using aggregated, anonymous data to find insights that actually build trust and help everyone improve together.
So it all comes together in a brand new kind of scorecard. The future of measuring performance isn't about collecting more data. It's about collecting better data. Data that focuses on what makes us uniquely human, our creativity, our collaboration, and our amazing ability to grow. So here it is, the new playbook in a nutshell. 1. Measure real impact, not just activity. 2. Reward learning and creativity. 3. Value the collaborators who make everyone else better. And 4. Above all else, use data ethically. Because at the end of the day, what you measure is what you get.
And that leaves us with this final question to really think about. As AI keeps changing our workplaces, we have to redefine what success even looks like. Because winning isn't about being the busiest person in the room anymore. It's about being the most impactful, the most adaptive, and the most connected.